Hey guys, happy Sunday. Sundae. Sunday, something yummy, something to indulge in, to absorb, to taste. Just stopping in real quick. Ria on the run here. Ria on the run. And I just wanted to share some insight. Oh my God, I've been so activated with all of these nuggets of gold through my dialogue at a personal communication on my Sifting for Gold, our Sifting for Gold chat. And I just wanted to stop and share because it has all really catalyzed a lot of empowering information that I want to share with everybody who is not on the Sifting for Gold chat. And first of all, I'm stopping right now, and my RIA, all of my RIA on the runs is about acting on my excitement to the best of my capability in the now. And you guys all know when you're in the zone, when you've got that frequency flying high, that elevation of frequency, that switches on full, the dimmer's on full blast. And when we don't stop to anchor that energy in our physical, or we hide from it, or we hold ourselves back, or we dim our light, it is literally like taking that frequency, that light bulb that is always there, and say it's shining bright and you're getting all of these ahas, activations within. It's like shutting off the switch or at the very least dimming it a little bit. So all of my RIA on the runs are literally me expressing and anchoring the energy of my excitement, my ahas, my activations. And when I do that, I anchor it in the physical vessel to merge, to branch out into all other areas that I'm living. And it can branch out when you focus and act at the highest of your excitement. That frequency gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get stronger and stronger and stronger and more confident in it. And that high frequency then becomes your norm, your new foundation for creation. And that will bleed into any confusion or habits or addictions or victimhood that you've been holding on to. Because when the frequency is high, energies that are not resonant with that cannot exist. So relationships will drop from you, instant job changes, opportunities will drop, and it's because like water and oil, you put a drop of oil in a cup of water, they're going to separate. So we're going to separate from those frequencies that we were once operating in because we're allowing and anchoring and embodying these high frequencies. And all those high frequencies, truth, higher frequencies of truth coming from our light, from our heart that we are allowing. And what is really key, hey guys, Kimmy Siegel, Leona, Thaddeator, and Ice Class on the 11th is so connected to this message today of self-empowering and making your frequency, allowing that frequency to come through and allow that new frequency, high frequency to be your baseline. And what is happening is these frequencies are superseding, they're overtaking, they're separating, kind of like the new earth. Holy shit, I love it when frickin' shit comes to me in the middle of a live. So earth representing the physical part of us in that whole theory and teaching and how we are separating. Earth is separating into two separate earths, creating the new earth, and then those who choose to still play in the denser energies will remain there. Well, our physical body is the representation of that. Our physical body is literally going through what Mother Earth is going through. We're separating from that energy, that density that once was our foundation and baseline, and we're literally infusing it with light and separating it. It's like they're showing me like in chemistry, have a nucleus, and the nucleus splits into two. That's what our physical body is doing, they're saying. They're showing me that. And what I was getting at is the key in that, and this takes step by step by step. Stepping into that power and expressing it in whatever way, shape, or form it is, acting on your excitement and taking action on it in that moment of now could be a memo to self, can be reaching out to someone, can be like me, Ria on the runs. When you take action to it, you're embodying more of that light. But what gets in our way and stumps us up a lot is that self-doubt. Times where we were disappointed, and disappointment is based on expectations of how we're to be received. So I know I personally, I'm going to use myself for an example because all of my messages come from my personal life experiences. We literally are, what is it called? the testimony, the revelation, the coming forth of God's source energy in the physical. I can't think of the name of that. But what I've dealt with, the most beautiful things that I've connected to, like my book or my oracle cards or my readings or my sharing, that to me is the most beautiful part of me, and I connect to it. But then I'll put it out, and then like a turtle, I'm like a turtle, I'll shoot it out there, but then I retreat back in my shell because I'm worried about other people's acceptance of it or resonating with it. And through many, many, many self-persecuting incidences as that victim based on past experiences of expectations where we were let down, we were told to be quiet, we were criticized physically or spiritually or mentally, or told we were stupid, or because you're really gifted in ADD. I swear I got some of that going on. Just because you were multidimensional, they tried to contain that energy in a shell. And the more you step out into it, you really strengthen that spiritual muscle. You're a spiritual athlete. You are called to be that wounded, you are healing that wounded warrior within you. Healing those wounds of the past by stepping out, building that muscle, trusting, trusting, trusting. And it doesn't matter how others receive you. It doesn't matter because the outside world is transient. It comes and goes. And in that consistency, you're going to then shift to the reflection of people that do resonate, the world that does reflect who you are, that does reflect your light. And me personally, as a life path 3, they have to overcome extreme doubt, insecurities, and I still have glimpses of that. Many. Like, and sometimes it's after the most powerful message, the most powerful thing that I relate to and think, oh my God, this is so beautiful, and I share it and say, I had 0 viewers or 0 likes or whatever, who cares? I'll go within and doubt that. So sometimes the greatest the fear is because that holds the greatest power, and vice versa. So the more you step out, oh my God, the stronger you get. And another thing that I wanted to really, really share that was really activated in the chat is relabeling words with a new frequency. So all of those disappointments in the past and all of that victimhood in whatever way, shape, or form that you live that out, you chose it. And it's actually a gift. So you can think of disappointment as actually empowering you to strengthen that spiritual muscle, to go within, because we're never ever going to be fully satisfied by anything outside of us. It is just that mere shadow of that energy and beauty and pleasure and joy that we will hold and sustain eternally when we connect within. It's just to catalyze us, trigger us, mirror us to connect to that sustaining love and light that can only be found within. And what was I saying? So when we realize that, we become stronger in that knowledge, and you come to a point where you don't give a F. You don't care, because that true fulfillment is really being in aligned to that light and that love and that individuality that you are. And you might feel even more victimized the more individual expression that you feel that you are, but that's exactly why you're here in the light that you came to anchor. And what was I going to say? Shoot, I keep losing it. And that's why it is so important to anchor that light, because then we lose it sometimes. Like, I'll say I'm going to say a message, but then I lose it when I get home because I dimmed it a little bit and I didn't act on it when I was actually in that excitement and in that frequency. So when you act on it, you materialize that in your physical experience, because we are physical and we are here. I'm enjoying the spiritual food. Oh my God, and that's so fulfilling, and that can so relate to actually eating disorders, using those outside things to substitute from something that can only be found in here within us. Like, I remember as a teenager, and I always thought I needed to lose weight, and I felt very criticized for who I was. And then in my darkest moments or in the middle of the night, and I'll even have glimpses of that, I'd get up and binge. I'd withhold all this physical food, but then I would eat, or I had a good incident, but then I would fill myself up with food because I'm trying to fill that space. Or any addiction, whether it could be exercise for someone, or it might seem like I'm addicted to exercise, but I'm not. I'm really not. I do like minimal, or whatever it is for you, because we're trying to fill that hole, but that hole can only be filled with the light, and that's what is truly, truly sustaining us. And I know I'm forgetting a really good point here. Oh yeah, the victimhood, and we've come to heal it because we've allowed that fear and that darkness, that separation. that separation. So even fear and darkness and doubt and insecurities is like the water and the oil. We're separating something from ourselves, but that very thing is giving us the experience of our own power. So that victim saying we're criticized and have all this self-doubt, as we take moment by moment and we allow that fear to show us something within ourselves, then that sparks the light. Go within and we seek. So when I gave that turtle analogy earlier, you shoot out, then you go back in. Even the going back in and retreating and dimming, it's all necessary, because then I get a little bit more, I get solace and peace and with spirit, and my answers come to me. But we're at a time now, our frequency is so high that we're standing out and shining more fully. And we're creating that separate old world of us and stepping into the new world based on our frequency and our allowance. So no matter what happens on the outside, it's still just showing us and giving us little gifts and opportunities to sift through our own energy to discover our nugget of gold. Let me just see who's here, guys. Please share out, because I just love the, and every time I do a message, every time I do a message and I'm done, I'm like, oh my God, this was so empowering, and it's my best message yet. And then I'm still on that high, but then I'll go back in and I'm like, this is the kind of shit that I do to myself. What the hell were you thinking? That kind of shit. Even though I don't experience that so much anymore. All right, so good morning, Leona and Kimmy and Thadiator and Leona and Brenda and Gabrielle and Erica. Thank you guys, because you guys are all warriors of love and light. You're all master teachers, without a doubt. However you display your energy, you're a master. And I know my mastery is in communicating my ahas and activations and insight. As ridiculous as it might seem to outside people, but you know what? Oh my God, this is the final point I want to make. If we are afraid of the outside acceptance, receiving of our light, that is not true fucking freedom, guys. If we have to contain or inhibit our light, that's not true sovereignty. So our frequency right now is all high enough, and we've grown enough, and we've flexed our muscles and got our spiritual strength and confidence, and we're at the point where we don't care. But when you care, that is not freedom. I know I am an advocate for true freedom, and true freedom is able to express and play in your world and in your light without those fears, without those inhibitations, in whatever, anything that makes you small. Now I'm getting silly because it's just so beautiful. I'm overwhelmed with, the love. And that's not freedom. So fuck that shit once and for freaking all. Take all that shit, throw it on the ground, stomp on it, and squish it. Because it keeps you little. And little by little, you find your true fulfillment. It doesn't matter what the outside is reflecting. The outside world does not matter anymore. And then you become really in here. But then the funny part is your outside world will reflect that anyways. Is that not stinking awesome? So it's really a time in that 1111 portal. I keep receiving messages. It is a time for us to trust and have confidence in our own discerning. So this message, you might relate to some, you might not relate to other parts. That's okay. And it's even beneficial if you don't relate to any of it, because then you go within, ask yourself the truth, and then your personal truth will come to you. And there's many, 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 many layers of truth. Life is eternal. Love is eternal. But the baseline for all of it, the interconnected energy and force of everything, of all eternity and all existence, dark, light, good, bad, gray, it's love. It's light. And it just is dependent on what frequency that we want to resonate and attach to. And then the whole time thing, all time is a frequency, guys. It's not linear. It's a frequency. And it's a frequency that we're holding, emitting, embodying. And then, boom, we match our timeline. So really, that really gives us even greater freedom when we come to that realization, because we're not limited by time either. All right, guys. So I'm going to end it with that. And if you have not yet, oops, I hit something. If you have not yet, please sign up for John Thaddeus Fiore, Master of EFT, Self-Compassion, Acceptance, and moving through those energies, accepting them and releasing them as you become more powerful. And we'll be given dual readings, bringing forth energy. What do you need to know now? What energies are you sifting through that are actually there to empower you? Son of a bee. So you guys can message either one of us for that, and I've got a million little announcements on that with the PayPal link to reserve your spot. 8 spots available. It is a private class, so you can feel comfort in that as well. But man, oh man, I really live life really freely and out there, and like wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's how beautiful, guys. It does take great strength and confidence to be vulnerable and to open up. And if you're allowing fear to keep you from this class, that's another opportunity to it's only 25 freaking dollars. Seriously, for self-empowerment. It's an opportunity for you to work through those fears and maybe you're afraid of exposing. When you're afraid to expose something, you're really afraid of your own, you're afraid of judgment and you're afraid of your own self-acceptance and sense of worthiness. You might be afraid that you're not worthy or you're going to find something evil or bad about you. But that's all beautiful because it's actually the opposing of that fear is the light and the love to be gained. So if you're allowing fear to stop you, now is an opportunity to step forth for it, for emotional freedom. This class is about emotional freedom, and the emotions, the heart flow, is what really creates our physical reality, guys. So if you haven't signed up, sign up. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be an intimate, personal little class. And how beautiful. And automatically know that those who are going to be there, and those that you resonate with, and those that have spiritual food for you will be there. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Erica, for all the hearts. And Robin, good morning. Done. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Louise. And we look forward to seeing you. And I look forward to seeing your light. And even if I never meet you in person, the light that you dare to be and shine freely affects everything. You came with a very individualized imprint of expression, and the world will not be the same without it. And I know that's cliche, but it's effing true. So I'm on StreamYard, so where's the light? May you all shine with the entirety of all the love and light that you are.